Good morning, guys. It's Edison here. I got this familiar brown box. This is another PSA return. So let's crack this open and get into it. I've already cut them so we can do them faster. This was a smaller sub. It was like a 57 card order. I think right at the end of the first special. Yeah, I think that's all it was. It was just towards the end of the last special, and I was just trying to scrounge up, as you know, just a couple more cards to send out, I guess is what I could say. So we'll just start with some Radiant Charizards, and if you've seen the past couple of returns I did, you'll see that the cards are always not in the right order. So yeah, these are probably sprinkled throughout. I don't know how they're doing the subs. Maybe it's in the QA2 process, but yeah, they're somehow mixing them all up. But this is just Radiant Charizard from Pokemon Go, and it is a shiny Charizard. All the Radiant cards are the shiny version of the Pokemon, and you know, maybe right now they are relatively cheap, but maybe 5 months, I don't know. I'm really thinking like you probably have to wait a couple of years for this to be somewhat of a valuable card. I think one thing that helps the Charizard is that it's super playable as well. It is the best Radiant. It's the second best next to Radiant Greninja. So it's a popular Pokemon that sees a lot of actual play. And yeah, I think this is a good card overall. Next up we have Awakening Psychic King Mew. A really nice Arita artwork. This is the holo foil version. There's a non-holo in the set as well. This art gets reprinted so much. There's the Best of XY version, and I think that also has a holo, non-holo, and reverse. Clash of the Blue Sky. This is an Altaria. I thought this was really nice artwork, especially with the rainbows in the background, but it pulled that Near Mint 8, which is, you know, if you saw my CGC returns when I was grading a lot of cards from this era, you really need them to be 9 or higher. Pretty much anything below that you are either losing money on, or you're probably going to lose money on, or struggle to break even. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this Altaria was just in between the Mew. These two Mews have sequential certs, but that Altaria somehow made its way in. Another 10. Scarlet Violet pre-order. I graded 2 copies of this card in this sub. I graded like 10 more in the next sub after this. But yeah, these, I had 2 copies. I pre-ordered the Scarlet and Violet video games in Japan, so I got 2 copies with my pre-orders. So this is pretty much kind of like the free copies I got with buying the game. One pulled a 9, not a great grade. For the Japanese modern, obviously, you really do need to hit that 10. Palkia and Charizard, this is a good one. I have the full Charmander and Charmander and Charmeleon line, and the Charizard in PSA 10. It's a really nice art set where you see like the Charmander grow up with the kid to be Charmeleon, and eventually he becomes, you know, the full trainer with the Charizard. This is a cool card, and relatively harder to grade because it is, you know, an all-over foil pattern. You know, not the easiest card to grade like some of these other holos. Lost Abyss Aerodactyl full art. This is just a sick card, one of my favorite full arts from the Sword and Shield era. I posted a photo of this with just some like older fossil cards, and every time I look at that photo on my Instagram, I'm just reminded of like how beautiful this artwork is. This is like the alternate art Sword and Shield to perfection. And we got 2 of those in PSA 10. And this is to encapsulate Sword and Shield altogether. We have the full art Pikachu from the Precious Collection box, Sword and Shield. This was just a pre-order. I think it was made to order, so as long as you pre-ordered it, you were guaranteed a copy of this card. But the box has gotten really expensive, and this is the one promo you get, but it is just an awesome concept. You see Calyrex back there, Urshifu. It's pretty much like a celebration of all the popular Pokemon cards from this era. I guess maybe not Hisuian Zoroark isn't that good, but you know, Calyrex had its time in the day. You know, really was really good. Crobat, it was a staple for a long time. Zacian with ADP was good. And Telly online with Palkia. This is such a cool card, like a celebration of the Sword and Shield era of the TCG, and this is something that I probably won't sell. I think this card is, if you look at like the X and Y, actually, does X and Y have a good example? We can look at Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon gets capped off with the full art. What's it called? The full art, like the Friends of Lola Friends. Sorry, the Lola Friends full art is kind of it's reminiscent of this in my opinion. It is just like a cap off to that era of Pokemon. Another example, I guess you could say too, is I believe, I might be wrong here, but the Team Rocket case that you have the Giovanni and Team Rocket full arts, I think those were made to order in as well for X and Y. But look at the price of those cards now, even though they were made to order, and it just, that product can still do well long term because the cards are so beautiful. One thing that probably does hurt this though is that it was reprinted in Crown Zenith. Actually, I didn't even factor that in until I said that whole tangent. Here we have a really damaged Charizard EX, but I got it in like a really cheap lot on Macari, and that card always sells pretty decent for me, graded. Advent of Arceus Charizards. This got a little bit more popular recently because it is a Himeno artwork. You can see at the bottom, just 2 9s in it. You know, obvious. With this card, you really do hope for the 10 because there is a pretty decent premium. But yeah, let's just keep going. Leafeon from Dawn Dash. Nice little hollow rare. PSA 10 for a popular Pokemon. Blaziken V, VMAX Climax. I'm not actually sure. Looking back, I don't know why I spec'd so hard into Blazikens of all the like kind of the alt arts I could have got, but I have a lot of this card. Here we have Bulbasaur. This is the 10th anniversary. I believe this is for the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center 10th anniversary. Actually, I never realized the background is just a photo of the shop, but it has like this Yukimori Bulbasaur art. It's just a cool card. I don't even know where I had gotten that, but it graded an 8. Here's the other Scarlet and Violet pre-order card. This one got the 10, the other got the 9. Another Radiant Charizard. Oh, 3 more Radiant Charizards, PSA 10. Just, I think, a pretty good filler card that's easy to acquire, easy to grade, but still is pretty popular. Let's get to the next box. PSA 10 Rayquaza from Corey from the Mysterious. Rayquaza is just a popular Pokemon. I thought this was decent artwork with the lightning in the background. So I think I've graded quite a few of these over the past couple subs. Another one right next to it. This one got the 9, 1 9, 1 10. This is a sick card. Professor's Elm Lecture from Super Burst Impact. Just a great full art with all 3 of the Johto starters on it. Like, I just don't think you can go wrong with something this cool. And full arts in general have absolutely just exploded again. There was like a hype in 2021 where stuff was starting to get bought out and the prices were starting to accelerate. But I think everything's kind of just doubled since then. It's insane. Doubled for some cards, it's like quadruple to, quintupled, to pull out the words. Zapdos G from Advent of Arceus. Just, I don't know why I graded so many of this card. I think I might have overvalued how popular Zapdos is. This is another example. Like, I've graded a bunch of this Dialga. This is a really nice one. This is a Harada artwork, and it is just so gorgeous to me for Bennett. You see Bennett holding, like, I think it's just like some field wheat, and he plucked it out. But look at that background, the mountains in the back, but it is such a good composition. This is a beautiful artwork. Bennett might not be the most popular Pokemon, but you cannot I feel like you can't argue that this is just great artwork for that character. Claire's Dragonite in a PSA 8. You can definitely see a pretty decent amount of wear. The top corner is a little rough. I think I purchased this as like near mint. I got it in and it looked rough and it was just sitting in a box. And at a certain point, I just decided I might as well grade it and see what it gets. This one I probably will lose money on based off of what I paid for it raw. But it is still pretty good artwork. It is really, really cool to see. The VS series stuff is really sick. Palkia G in that same set as that Dialga we saw. Charizard G. Okay, not from the same set. This is from a half deck. You get Charizard G level X in like the same half deck. But it is just obviously a popular Charizard Pokemon card. So I always like to have some of those in stock. And this is a pretty big hit. Arceus level X Hollow. This is from the Grass and Fire deck. The Arceus level X's came out with a bunch of decks in Japan with a lot of really, really good cards inside of them. But obviously the main hitter is the level X on the front. And for that, they get a 10. That's a pretty big hit. That's actually really sick to see. Beedrill Flight of Legends. I graded a lot of Flight of Legends, and we'll see more in this submission. It is one of my favorite sets of that era. By Arita. It pulled an 8, though, which is definitely kind of like that Altaria. Like, that's at a point where you probably are breaking even at best. Super Burst Impact 10. Another level X Hippowdon from Bond to the End of Time. I don't know. I think this card is so sick. I think he looks so awesome there. This might be the best Hypnodon artwork too they've ever printed. Grab that in the 9. Another Pokemon Charizard in 10. Let's kind of go through these a little bit faster. That same Banette in a 9, so 110, 19. Psychic King Mew in a 9. Okay, this is a pretty big hit. This is the Lugia Legend piece. This is the bottom half. It pulled the P.S.A. 9. It is first edition. The unlimited for these is exponentially rarer. But to pull a 9, this card has also gotten quite expensive, so I'm happy to grab that in any grade. And we'll end this box on your Pikachu. This is just like from Arceus movie had like its own special set that came out. The packs it was like a limited run. It was very similar to the Detective Pikachu set, if you remember that. I mean, it's not that old, but yeah, same concept, just kind of limited artworks, all unique. I don't think English got any of those cards. Actually, I don't even know if any other language got those cards. Another Rayquaza, same. We're starting the box the same way as that last box. Just Rayquaza from Cry from the Mysterious, Metagross from Clash from the Blue Sky, Clash of the Blue Sky, I believe. EX Deoxys in English. But kind of like that Rayquaza, I consider Metagross a pretty popular Pokemon. Yeah, I would definitely say Metagross is pretty popular. I'm just thinking like Gen 3, it's probably him. I think he's considered pseudo-legendary in that game, in that generation. But he is just, to me, a really good Pokemon to always have a couple cards of. Oh, and then this is the top half for that same Lugia set. Let me see if I can grab it. So here's the top half and then the connecting bottom half, and then, ideally you have them as a complete set. Yeah, it is a really great artwork. And the way that I have like my legend sets done is I just put them in a binder, and I think in a binder you kind of get to appreciate them a little bit more. It's a lot easier to display. But the top half graded the 10, which is a huge premium compared to the 9. But the 9 is the nicer artwork where you actually get to see Lugia, so that kind of sucks. Stormfront, Raichu, just again popular Pokemon, decent grade. 9 will take it. Same card, but this one graded the 10. Oh, this is a Himeno as well. I think I'd forgotten that. But yeah, we'll grab those in a 10. And you'll kind of see this trend of like a lot of this stuff I'm grading 2 copies of every card. Metagross was 2 copies. Raichu was 2. The Banette we saw earlier was 2. Then this is a surprisingly expensive card. This is the 7-Eleven Meowth. You just see the 7-Eleven stamp. There's a non-holo version of this, I believe, as well. And I have a copy of this signed and sketched by the artist. But this is just a good card. It did surprise me. I looked at the comps on this, and I'd seen one auction. I don't even think there's a copy on eBay right now in 10. But I saw the last one at auction was over 300, which is kind of insane because 300 is like $300 for a 10 is the same price as Japanese level X's in 10. Now for context, yeah. Flight of Legends, I mentioned earlier, I grade a lot of this stuff. I really like the EX Fire and Leaf Green set. Evan of Arceus. So I graded 2 of these, I think, and we saw the previous one already. This is Garchomp C, level X. Cynthia's Garchomp. This is, I mentioned there's a Charizard half deck. The other half deck you get in this set is this Garchomp one. So that is a pretty good card. But because it is from a half deck, it's actually kind of cheap. And even 10, it's a pretty cheap card. You don't love to see this VMAX Climax in 9. Shoot, that's this is a modern card with a pretty bad grade. Is that on the card? You see right there, bottom left corner. I can't tell if that's an issue on the card or P.S.A. does a lot of this weird stuff now with they're really trying to crack down on like imitation slabs or really just fake slabbing. So they have all these like authentication policies. There's like slight things they do on the case to better protect, which is good for the consumer. But some of that stuff is quite ugly. Like they put those white boxes on the cards, on the slabs. Yeah. This is a P.S.A. 9 Leafeon. The back honestly looks pretty clean, but I'm noticing it's quite off-center, top down. So I wonder if it was like a PSA 10-worthy copy that got docked for centering. Or then a bunch of these. This is just, again, a popular modern promo, Unagaba Pikachu. A really good one to have. Japanese exclusive art. More Blazikins. Again, I don't understand why I'm so specced into this Blaziken. Mint 9 in the Unagaba. A 10, the same card. I think we're just going to end it off on more. Oh, We're going to end it on a Karen's Flareon. Beautiful artwork. I bought this at the same time as that Dragonite. Both were sold as near mint, and both looked a little bit rougher when I got them in. You could see the top right-hand corner. The top right-hand corner of both of these, the Dragonite as well, had a little bit of wear. So yeah, you probably don't make anything on the 8 in that, but it was just sitting around. And to finish it off, I'm going to end it with this Rapidash PSA 10. To cap it off, I just wanted to go over my 3 favorite cards we got back in the submission. The first is going to be the Scarlet and Violet pre-order Pikachu. Just beautiful artwork to me. I really enjoyed the games, and the fact that this is a copy that I got as like a promo myself by ordering the game, to me kind of adds a little bit more sentimental value. And next up is the Precious Collection Pikachu. I mentioned it earlier. This is like one of the best cards from the Sword and Shield era. It is such a good encapsulation of everything the TCG did during the past couple of years. So as like a cornerstone to a Sword and Shield collection, this is great. And finally, I kind of gushed over it earlier. This Banette artwork is so sick to me. This is a great card. So yeah, that's it for this return. If you see anything you like, or if you're interested in anything, feel free to make me offers or check out any of my socials below, or check out the store. And again, thanks for watching. If you like this stuff, let me know, and have a nice one. Bye.